Hello, it's a rainy Wednesday. I'm in the studio, obviously, and it's raining outside, and it's really, my hair is all kind of mucky because of it. You know, I get that weird cowlick kind of curly curl thing on my forehead when it's raining out because it ruins my hair. Anyways, besides how terrible I look, I just wanted to let you know that things are kind of progressing around here, which is kind of exciting for me. I had a meeting yesterday with my buddy Rodney, and I've mentioned him before. Thank you, Rodney and Michelle, for all the stuff that you've done around here lately. It's really fantastic, and I appreciate all of the help that you've given. But they've given us kind of a leg up when it comes to these videos that we're doing. And I hope that, you know, I don't probably talk about this too much, but maybe I do. This is only the 10th episode. But what I'm aiming to do with these videos ultimately is to sort of give you some insight into our lives here in the studio and my life as well. You know, some of the things that we do and that we go through, and some of the projects that we're working on and things like that. And up until this moment, I've been doing all of the recording on my phone, and you know, it's not so bad. It's a Motorola, you know, it's a cheapy smartphone. When I'm not propping the camera up somewhere, then, you know, it's kind of shaky because I'm doing everything by hand. And as you know, yesterday's video is a perfect example of you know, when software is not functioning the way that I want it to, because you know, I do have access to Adobe Premiere, which I will start using soon once I figure out how to use it. But again, the thing is, like I've mentioned before, I don't really want to be editing these episodes extenuate. You know, I don't want to do crazy amounts of work on them in the editing phase, because A, to me that takes a little bit of the authenticity of the videos out, but B, you know, I'm very, very busy all day long, every day, spending an extra 2 hours, and yesterday was almost 3 hours editing that one little short 2-minute video. So really, I don't want to spend crazy amounts of time editing stuff. And besides, I don't need an intro, I don't need an extra, I don't need a whole bunch of like little cuts and stuff. I just need it to be as simple as possible. And you know, I do like to throw the annotations in, whether it's there or there, I'm not sure, somewhere. Maybe it's down here, I don't know. I won't know until I put it onto YouTube and see how it looks. But the annotation is just kind of a request, you know, to please subscribe to the channel, to watch these videos, as well as to share it on your Facebooks or your Twitter or whatever. And the reason for that is, you know, part of the process of this video channel is to get it onto YouTube and generate a little bit of extra income for the studio to help us pay the rent. I know that sounds kind of convoluted. I mean, who starts a YouTube video channel to pay the rent? But this is a different day and age, and that's the way things are. So, you know, we've monetized the channel so that you will see advertisements at the beginning or at the end or in the middle or whatever. And those advertisements help us generate some income for the studio. And at this moment, I checked yesterday, we've earned 2 cents. 2 cents. But over time, the hope is that will grow. But anyway, so I wanted to say that you know, my friends Rodney and Michelle have been selling off some of their old equipment, and so they came to me as a first person to offer it to, which to me is fantastic, because, you know, and I don't like to throw money at problems. I'm not a you know, I do like to go shopping and stuff, but I don't like to throw crazy amounts of money at things. If I can buy something used, then I will. If I can buy something, you know, at a discount, I will. And in this case, I'm buying their old cameras from their own projects and stuff. and hopefully they'll be upgrading soon or whatever they're doing with their stuff. But I get the old cameras, so I sort of wanted to do a little bit of a show and tell and a little bit of an unboxing, unveiling, if you will. So give me 1 second. If you're at all familiar with other YouTube channels or whatever, and maybe I'm weird this way, I don't know, but I follow a lot of other YouTubers, and there's some of my favorites like Casey Neistat and Philly DeFranco, and the Shay Tarts family I used to watch all the time. And these are, they're very different styles of channels. My kids would spend a lot of time watching their favorites, like PewDiePie, for example. And my daughter has, the ones that she watches almost religiously. On a daily basis, I watch Casey Neistat, partly because we're both makers. We both create stuff. And, he's got some cool things going on, so I'll throw a link to him somewhere on here for you to check out his channel and sort of get a gist of what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to recreate what he does, but he's inspired me to set up this channel. But he uses a couple of different cameras when he's shooting, one of which is a Canon, and that's the first camera that I'd like to show off. This one has, it has a ton of great features like image stabilization and whatnot. I do plan on using this camera not just for video, or not just exclusively for video, but also because a lot of our product shots for the catalogs and stuff I'd like to do professionally. And Rodney has in the past taken a lot of photos for us for our catalog with this camera, and I know how good it can be with some good lighting and such. So I'm really happy to have this. It's an EOS Rebel T4i. So if you want to look it up, go ahead and look it up. But I'll be using this camera mostly in the studio. It'll probably have better high quality image than just my phone camera. But so that's the first one, and I'm very excited for it because I had a Canon film camera, like a 35mm camera, and it was also a Rebel many years ago. But that one's since gone the way of the dodo, and taking 35mm photos for me nowadays just seems kind of redundant. I do see a particular art and style with film photography that I think is going to make a comeback in the form of artistic prints and things like that. And in that respect, I'd like to throw a shout out to Francis Wiley, who's just amazing. If you get a chance to check out his work, please do. The guy is world renowned. He's fantastic. I'm friends with he and his wife, and I see them every so often. And I use, we're more acquaintances than friends, but I really like the guy. He's fantastic, and his work is amazing. So check him out. Anyways, the other two cameras are identical. They are the what the heck is the name on this? It's a Sony. It's a 1080 HD recording, and it's a Handycam. It's only 4.0 megapixels, but that's technically better than this, I think. But because there's two cameras, I can have one on the go anytime and just take it with me, and I can, record myself. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to just, point and shoot and talk, and maybe even take my tripod along in my backpack, or get a small tripod for the backpack, and then this thing will be very useful to me on a regular. But the second one, because it's an identical camera, I can have one on one side of the room and one on the other side of the room. I'm also thinking of setting up a sort of overhead camera over the top of my work, so that I can do some how-to style videos. I don't want this to become a how-to channel because, I am a professional bookbinder, and a lot of the stuff that I do doesn't translate well to a hobbyist, for example. because a lot of hobbyists aren't doing restoration work or aren't tearing apart old books or aren't doing paper repairs and things. But I do like to show what I'm doing or chat while I'm doing stuff. And so that's kind of the hope as well. But on top of all of that, one of the things I'm going to try and engage my co-workers in, and I say co-workers, they don't get paid, they don't work here, they're not, you know, they share the studio space with me. So for example, my friend Melanie is our resident artist. She uses the other half of the studio space on the other side of the room to do her painting and her work, and she's amazing, and I love having her here. There's also Danny Lee, who just recently came to join us for a month or two or whatever, between now and the time he goes away for school. But he's here to hang out a little bit as well, and he's been helping me in the book bindery, doing some stuff as well, making himself very useful, and he's awesome. And so they're over in the design area. My friend Eric is currently renting our sound studio. And hey, how are you?
Wet.
Oh yeah. Thanks, man. See ya.
No problem.
That was the mailman. I love that guy. Anyways, so my friend Eric is renting our sound studio right now, and he has it set up as his office. So we don't really have the sound studio for sound at the moment. And he needed office space, so I'm happy to rent that room out to him. We don't use it as often as I'd like. It's still in progress. I still have to buy equipment and stuff for it. But with these cameras, basically, I can give one to one of my coworkers, the people that hang out in the studio here with me. My friend David, he runs the bookstore, and the bookstore is it's a very small space. He only comes in a couple days a week. But I'd love for him to give to pick up a camera and just give a tour or read a book or something on camera, and these guys can interview each other or interview me or talk to clients or show what they're doing, because we do some pretty neat stuff around here. And so it's my hope ultimately that everybody has a chance to pick up a camera and just do something fun with it, like I'm doing with my phone right now. So anyways, that's 3 cameras that we've got for the studio for this project. And yesterday I made an agreement to also buy some sound equipment from them that they're also getting rid of, and so that will hopefully be good for doing things like music recording, concert recording, because my son does his own concerts and things like that, and potentially just talks and gatherings and stuff. To sync up the sound with the video in Premiere should be pretty easy to do. That's the hope, is that I'll be able to mix the two quite nicely. But I haven't used the software yet. Over the next couple of weeks I'll be taking a lot of tutorials on how to do it, and I'll be mastering that software. So hopefully we'll see this channel get bigger and better and more fantastic as time goes on. And who knows, maybe I'll get so caught up into it that I do end up doing those big, fancy 10-minute long Casey Neistat style videos. But I do recommend to check out his channel as well, because he's really amazing. And he's a huge inspiration for me to do this. So other than that was my unveiling of the equipment and sort of our plans. Like I say, I don't like to throw money at stuff, but when an opportunity shows up, I'll take it. So that's where we're at today. It's raining outside, and I don't expect a whole bunch of clients to come in. In fact, I don't even expect anybody to show up at the studio today. So this is my way of getting over sort of the cabin fever of being here. I'm also waiting for all of the batteries to charge for the cameras so that I can set them up and start playing with them. So we'll see how that goes too. But other than that, I've got this gigantic list of things that I have to do today. I've got a couple marked off already that I've finished, so it's approximately 11 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, so let's see how the day goes. Maybe I'll throw in a couple more videos later on. So take care, everybody. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe and share us on your Facebook.